Welcome to Speak English Today podcast, your go-to channel for mastering English in the most fun and interactive way possible. I'm Peter, and alongside me is my co-host, Mary.
Thanks, Peter. Hello, everyone. Whether you're learning English as a beginner, brushing up on your skills, or just curious about improving your day-to-day conversations, we've got you covered. And today, we're diving into something really interesting, common English mistakes that learners often make and how to fix them.
Exactly. Many of these mistakes are super common, even among advanced learners. But don't worry, we'll not only point them out but also explain why they happen and how to avoid them in a way that sticks.
And hey, if you're here to refine your English and sound more fluent, this episode is packed with practical tips and examples to make learning easy and engaging. So, grab a notebook, a cup of tea or coffee, and let's get started.
Common English mistakes and how to fix them. Let's jump into it with our first common mistake. I didn't know. This is a classic error. Many learners think that using the past tense knew after didn't is correct, but that's a big no-no. The auxiliary verb did already puts the sentence in the past tense, so you need to use the base form of the verb. The correct sentence is, I didn't know. Here's an example. I didn't know you were coming today. And by the way, Mary, this mistake happens because people often translate directly from their native language, where it's common to use the past tense twice. But in English, that's a big grammar rule to remember. No doubling up on the past tense.
Moving on to the second mistake. He do not like coffee. This is another common one. When the subject is he, she, or it, you need to use does, not do. So the correct sentence is, he does not like coffee. Here's an example. He does not like coffee, but he loves tea. The confusion here is understandable because do and does are irregular verbs, and learners might not always remember the subject-verb agreement. Absolutely. And once you start practicing this, it becomes second nature. She has two childs is another common mistake people make. This one always makes me smile. People often say, she has two childs. In English, the plural of child is children, not childs. So the correct sentence is, she has two children. Here's a quick tip. Irregular plural nouns like children, men, and women don't follow the usual s or es rule. Once you memorize them, you'll never go wrong.
Mistake 4. I am looking forward to meet you. This next one is a subtle but important mistake. I am looking forward to meet you. After the phrase looking forward to, we always use the gerund form of the verb, which means adding ing. So the correct sentence is, I am looking forward to meeting you. This one is tricky because it feels like it should lead to the base form of the verb, but it's actually part of the phrase, not the infinitive. Once you get the hang of it, it's easy to remember.
Mistake 5. Everyone have a pen. Here's a quick one that learners often miss. Everyone have a pen. Yes, because everyone is singular, we use has instead of have. So the correct sentence is, everyone has a pen. This mistake happens because everyone refers to a group of people, but in English, it's treated as a singular subject. A simple rule to remember, treat words like everyone and nobody as singular.
Mistake 6. I have visited Paris last year. This one is very common. I have visited Paris last year. Because we're talking about a specific time in the past, we use the simple past tense. I visited Paris last year. Save the present perfect tense for unspecific times, like, I have visited Paris many times.
Mistake 7. She is married with a doctor. I hear this one all the time. She is married with a doctor. In English, we say married to, not married with. The correct sentence is, she is married to a doctor. This happens because in some languages, the equivalent of married with is correct, so learners naturally transfer it. But in English, always use to.
Mistake 8. He told me about his plans, and here's a super common mistake. He told me about his plans. The correct sentence is, he told me about his plans. The word told doesn't need to. Here's a trick. Used to when the verb is say, as in, he said to me. But with tell, just drop the to.
In conclusion, we've covered a lot of common English mistakes today, and we hope this episode helped you identify and correct some of them. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Keep practicing, and you'll see improvement in no time.
Don't forget to subscribe to Speak English Today podcast for more practical tips and lessons. And if you've made any of these mistakes or have questions, let us know in the comments. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Happy learning!